Hey everybody, so in this video I'm gonna start talking about different kind of hairstyles for male and female characters. Just kind of give you some examples of how I've drawn them and what I do and how I kind of break it down, so hopefully it'll help y'all. So I'm just gonna basically just do a bunch of examples to kind of show you guys how I would break down the different styles or what I'm thinking about when I do it. So I'm going to do a bunch of male ones, I'm going to do a bunch of female ones. Right here I've just got like a head. And so what you're going to want to do is you're going to kind of start with like bigger shapes for the hairstyles. Like make sure you come down to the ear for like where the sideburn is and the side of the hair. And just kind of, so like there's like a simple one, not too many lines. Here's an example, and I'll do several more, but that's kind of an easy one. A lot of times, drawing certain different comic book characters, they have different hairstyles and like different things about them. But like the characters that kind of have longer hair, there's kind of like a thing that I like to do. Like for example, I'm going to draw like Gambit right here. I'll kind of put like a little wavy flip of hair coming out like that, just to kind of, I think it kind of looks cool, gives it a little movement to the hair. But like for the rest of it, you're going to start doing some like bigger pieces coming out like the side, because he's got a lot of hair coming out over his little headband thing. And then once you get the bigger sections, you can kind of throw in other like little pieces, kind of like up here, like little pieces coming out that are separate from the bigger pieces. But you're kind of focusing at first on like bigger sections and then bringing it down from there. We do a little shading into this part because it's underneath. But so like there's a couple. This one's kind of a little more wild and almost a little anime inspired. It's like the anime hair is like super spiky sometimes. Okay, and I'll give another example. So I drew Doctor Strange in that live stream with the sketch card. He's got, when I think about drawing Doctor Strange, he's kind of got 3 big sections of his hair that I focus on when I'm doing it. So first I'll do like this little area point coming down to where his hairline would be, and have like sideburn for his ears. But I break it down into 3 sections. So like I've got the first big section right here that's going to kind of be this section right here, so I'll put a 1 there, and then this part is kind of up against that other one, and this would be part 2. And then part 3, since you're only seeing, if you were looking straight ahead, it would be kind of symmetrical, both sides would be similar, but I'm doing it smaller on this side because you can only see part of it, but it's going to have the same shape as this one, just on the opposite side. So there's like the other third big part. And if you want, you can do like a couple little tufts of hair coming down in the front to just put a little bit more on there. Then for maybe somebody like Bucky, who's got a little bit longer hair, or even other characters, not just necessarily him, but he's the one I have in mind when I'm doing this right here. I'm gonna put first I'm gonna put like a line where the hair is gonna be parted. So there's going to be part of it right going this way, and then part of it going this way. So I'm going to put the big shapes in first. How this is kind of come all the way down here, and the same on this side. It's just going to kind of come to the bottom. Now I'm putting light lines in because I'm going to do more detail in a minute, but this maybe have a piece of hair coming down that's covering part of his face right here. So you say if you have his eyes right here, this will kind of cover partially that one, but you're going to have more hair kind of come in doing the same thing coming down. And then over here you're going to have another piece that's dropping down the opposite way, but it's like kind of symmetrical to that piece. And then maybe have more down here, and you can put more lines in the top too, just to kind of show the other pieces, but that would be like a longer hairstyle. There's a couple other longer ones you could do too. Let's see, I'll do like when I draw Cable, he kind of has a shorter and tighter hairstyle. So maybe I draw him like this. I'll put like the hairline in there again to kind of show where I'm going to start everything, and then I'll put a couple of tufts coming up. Then on the side I'll have this piece right here, and then this is kind of like the bigger piece that goes all the way across to the back part. So there's like another example, and I'll give one more very familiar example of the males before I switch to doing some females. Superman, he's kind of got an iconic hairstyle. So for Superman, I kind of break it down into 3 parts, like similar to how I would draw Doctor Strange's hair. But it's a little different because he's got kind of like a wild thing. But so you can kind of put the hairline in just to kind of get you started. And they don't have to all look the same. You can like adjust some of these points to make it different. But I'm doing this to kind of help me figure out where I'm going to start. So on Superman, I like to start kind of like where it's parted right here and bring down the side. And then I'll put that S, I guess it goes the other way, but I'll put that S that his hair makes. And then have that kind of give it kind of some form, kind of like how it's just sitting on the top of his head and meets on the part. And then this other side is just kind of like it would be like this, but on the other side and a little further to the left. So that would be how I would do Superman's hair. Maybe put some more swirls in there. Okay, so there's a couple different male hairstyles. There's some easier ones too. Like I'll just do this one real quick before I switch to females. But you could do just like almost like a buzz cut or something, which would just be you kind of figure out the hairline really, and you just kind of maybe get a slightly bigger than you would for like the skull, like expand the line a little bit. But you could have something like that. That's an easy hairstyle to do. And there's many more, but these are just kind of the ones I'm going to touch on it here and maybe do some different ones in the future in another video. But so now I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to start going and doing some female ones. And I want to emphasize that it's a really good idea to look up references online on Google other artists, how they draw hair and things like that, and you can find some really good stuff. And just find your favorite artists, Google them, and if they have art books or if you have any of their art books, you can look through them and find stuff. And you know, like I said, this isn't an exhausting list. This is just a couple different ones. But I find it easy for me to like reference characters, because then when I say this is how I would draw this character's hair, you can kind of go Google that and look that up and find images to practice from. So like here's an example. I'm going to draw Black Canary, and this is kind of based off of how she looked in Justice League Unlimited, this hairstyle that I'm going to draw. So I'm going to start with where the hair is parted, and she's kind of got some curls or some waves into her hair. So I'm going to have this, a curve right here, then I'm going to have it put another one in right here where it's like kind of long and connected, and then have this and one more. See, these are all kind of the same shape. Curve here, curve here, curve here. Now I'm going to bring it up the other side, and you don't necessarily have to create like a closed form right there. You can just kind of have it like that. And so this is kind of resting like on her shoulders, but you're going to do the same thing out here. This, you know, your part right there, your part's right there. So I'm going to do this on the outside, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to make similar shapes. And then I'm going to throw another one in here that's going to sit on her shoulders. So there's that, and then you have the back side. It's kind of like you take the shape of the head and you just kind of like expand the line, like here's the skull right here, and you just expand it out to where the hair is going to sit on her head. And here you go, you just do more, and this is going to maybe be on the back side of her shoulder, so it's going to go behind her. So there's an example of kind of like some wavy hair. Another good example of wavy hair that you might be able to find some good reference for would be Black Cat. So Black Cat, Felicia Hardy, she, pretty sure she wears a wig. And Black Canary might too, I don't know. But the pictures that I based it on, I think it was based off of Spider-Man the Animated Series maybe. And so I'm going to do a part in the middle. So I'm just going to follow this line that I did down the face that helps me split the face, and I'm going to use that to part the hair also. And I'm going to put these pieces in the front that are going to kind of be wavy, but it's going to be on both sides, and it's parted like right down the middle. So it's going to be covering up her ear on this side, but I'm going to do the same kind of thing that I did over here, but do it over here, and it's just a smaller piece instead of a bigger piece. So now we've got those two pieces, and then you kind of go back to the part and just fill in the rest, and you just do kind of some random curves. You don't have to get into too much detail. You can just kind of do big lines, big rounded lines and curves, and then every now and then throw in these little pieces right here, and then just keep it going however big you want to make it. So there's another example of wavy hair. I'll throw eyebrows and a nose in just to kind of so you can see what's going on. Okay, now I'm going to do, so I drew Wonder Woman the other day. I'm going to do how I would do Wonder Woman's hair, and it's just this is kind of more plain and simple and generic for like long hair. For me, when I would draw it, this is kind of what I would do. Put her headband in just so you guys can get a little reference. But so what I do is like the part's right here, and I'm having this big swooping line come down that's going to kind of cover up her ear and everything. It's just going to keep coming down, but like here's the top of it, and you just bring this line up here to where it's going to be, remember what I said right here with this from the skull to the outside of the hair, it's kind of the same thing here, how voluminous the hair is. You're going to bring that out here, and that's just going to be like the back part of it. You have the part on this side and another curve, and just bring it down like that. And so if you have like the neck in here and the shoulders and everything, the hair is going to be behind her, except for like right here you can bring it on the front and then have it like in the back still like behind her shoulder, but you have it resting there. Okay, so now I'm going to do a couple more interesting examples, and I say it's interesting because these are kind of some crazy hairstyles. Really good reference is the DC Bombshells. They have some like a line of like figurines or statues or something, and they had some really cool hairstyles in that run because they were all based on like the 40s. So they had some really cool hairstyles that I recommend looking up and trying to practice and using those as references because they were really cool looking. And it kind of helps drive home the point I was trying to make about like the big pieces and breaking it down, because when you look at those statues you can kind of see like the big sections of hair and how it comes together to do like a hairstyle, because you don't have to get into super detail when you're drawing hair. It just depends what you want to do. I like to keep it kind of just big shapes, and some people will get into more detail and do like colors and lighting and all that, but I like to just keep big shapes. So I'm just going to draw like the head and the neck right here, and I'm going to keep the hair going, like even though it will be covered up right here by the rest of the body. I'm going to draw it so you can just kind of see how the shape would flow. But so here's Supergirl. We put the hairline in there. Those are the ears. Remember, this is Bombshell Supergirl if you want to look up a reference for it. So she's got like this big like round piece right here that's just kind of, I don't really know how to describe it. It almost kind of looks like a pinwheel because it's like a curl, but it's huge. And then she's kind of got more of it right here. And it's just like you see the big pieces again, like here's a piece, here's a piece, here's a piece. And then over here you got the other side. And she's kind of got, she's got like a ponytail or something in the back, but she's got a flowing piece of hair. Like she's got long hair, so it's flowing. And so what I would do is I would just do like these big pieces and have it coming out over here. So it's just like a big curve. you don't have to get too detailed and too scratchy. Just do like big pieces. And so like, you know, there's going to be like a point to it where the hair comes like smaller when it gets to like the end of it, but you just kind of have to, you just do big pieces, big swooping pieces and big sections. So this is like all one big section at the bottom, where like these were 1, 2, 3, 4, then you got 5. This big piece. All right, I'm gonna do a couple more and then see where we are. All right, I'm gonna do Poison Ivy from Bombshells also. She had a really cool hairstyle. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that one real quick. But you'll see how it like comes together in like big pieces. All right, here we go. She's got like this big kind of rolled part in the front of her hair. So like I'm kind of just drawing like a cylinder right here and putting those lines in there, and it wraps around all the way. So she's got like parts of it you can see in the back, but then she's got also these big rolls, kind of like the Supergirl curl, but like these big ones on the side of her head. So at first I'm just going to put kind of the top of them where you can see them all wound up, and then you kind of see like the hair from the side, it comes up like that, and the same thing on the other side, it's just coming down, and she has like these little pieces that hang by her ears, and then just like a big flowing piece at the bottom. It's the same thing, it's just like a big chunk. So she's got like this big section right here, and these big sections on the side, and then this big chunk right here. And then you can also do some short hair too. Like here's an example of some short hair. Not, I guess not short, but shorter, like shoulder length. You could do short hair too and have it a little bit different than how you would draw the male, but I'll do that next. So this is going to be Mystique. I would part it in the front, kind of like Black Cat, but you have these sides, these pieces in the front. Then you also have these pieces right here, and just you have the hair come down like that, and you could just keep it one big piece. You don't have to put these lines in the middle for detail if you don't want to. You can do a lot of detail with color if you really want to. You don't have to do it with actual lines, but then you just have it like that. It's a little shorter hair with, you got a big piece right here, big piece right here, piece right here, piece right here, and they just connect down at the bottom. Then another way you could do some short hair, I'll just do this real quick. There's been some times where Black Widows had really short hair, and I actually drew her recently like this on one of the card sets I worked on, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it again. You put like the hairline in there again, the ear, and like I did with Gambit, how I had that flowing piece, kind of do the similar thing with her in the front. So she has like this flowing piece, and then just do it through the big chunks like that. And so you got this big piece in the front, then littler, smaller pieces kind of coming off, and then just like a big chunk right here and right here. So those are a couple different hairstyles you can kind of practice with. Look up references and just keep practicing and keep trying to break down the references you look at. Try and break them down into shapes that you can understand, and then put it together all together, and you can kind of figure it out. All right, thanks everybody. I'll see you next time, and if you like what you see, go ahead and share the video and subscribe.